Hey guys, this is Chris. As promised, I'm back with filter testing for the Hubsan Zino 2, and I've got a surprise for you. I've actually found another filter that was sitting right underneath my nose that works for the Zino, meaning it fits. So in the test, you'll see if it works or not, but we're going to show a first flight without this, without anything. All I've done is paint the front cover and made it a flat black, which this cover is removable, and I painted it flat black and just put it back. So we'll see how that does with no filters, just that flat black. Then we'll test one other filter, and after that we'll test one final filter, and then we'll see a difference between all three videos. But I have to tell you, in this video there is no sun like what I'm normally flying in. Had a lot of clouds today. The sun was poking through every now and again, and it wasn't a heavy strong sun, but just enough still to get those damn flares in the bottom corners and the heavy rays or flares that come down on the screen, which is something I just don't experience with my other quads. I get little single lines and glares in my other quads, but nothing that totally destroy the video like it does with the Zino 2. So I think what it all boils down to with the Zino 2 is a cheap lens, probably not coated, and it's just extra sensitive to the sun. So the reason I do all my flights in the presets are because a majority of the people are going to fly setting up with presets, and that's something that I can also just show to keep it all fair across the board. So every video I'm doing during all these types of tests is going to be the same settings, and that's 4K, 60 frames per second, white balance is set for sunny day, and color set for ordinary. So generally, those type of settings on some of my quads, they're safe presets, and you can get some very nice 4K footage. Not the case here. So what you're going to see today, low sun, still getting all the effects. Then we're going to put the filters on and see how that does. I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow in full sun based on the forecast and less wind. Today I had 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and it was wreaking havoc on the gimbal. Shot the gimbal crooked sometimes, and occasionally I got a vibration that it just not would absorb. It just not would absorb because, or just would not absorb because it was just shaking so bad. This thing was fighting so hard to go against the wind. The last thing I want to mention before you watch the videos is just to bring up the different options. People are talking about making, sun hoods for the quad, and that's just something I'm trying to avoid, so that's why I'm not going that route. I'm focusing on the filters, and I really do think I'll get good results out of the filters. So the other thing is one clever little, we'll call it clever and be nice. I'm not being mean, but you guys know Pete Martin if you're on Facebook, and he's got a YouTube channel. Maybe you don't know this is him on YouTube, but on YouTube his channel is Randenauer, something like that. I think it has something to do with bicycle social group or bicycle clubs or something like that. In the UK, I don't know, but he made this protruding erectile piece that goes on the front of the camera. And if you have a regular camera, if you're a photographer, you've got these hoods and everything, and that's all fine and dandy. But just something that maybe he doesn't understand is aerodynamics or wind effect. If you put a cup on the front of this, if you flew in the weather I flew in today, or the typical weather I fly back home in Pennsylvania in the mountains, there's always some wind. You put a cup on the front of this and it's going to blow and push hard against this. So I do not recommend going that route. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen, and you can see that little concoction. But oddly enough, he did a with and without video on it, and I noticed that he did not fly. All he did was hover, or maybe even hold it in his hand, I don't know, but this is all you see. So I'm going to call that a fail, and tell anybody that if you're trying to do something like that, I'd steer away and try to be a little more creative. If you're going to put something on the front of your lens, you're only going to need to go out a little bit. You're not going to have to put some big erectile long object on the front of there. That's just going to wreak havoc in the wind, and you're definitely not going to be able to do sport mode with something like that on the front of your camera. So I'm just trying to prevent you from having any damage to your camera by putting things like that on. So watch the video, and what you're going to see is first flight without filters, just the painted black ring. Then I'm going to come in after that filter and show you the next one, put it on the camera, tell you what it's from, and what type it is. They're all CPL filters. I'm keeping that fair too, always using CPL. And then you'll see that flight with that filter. And then the third surprise that I later came up with after my last video. I'll explain that one, show it to you, what it comes from, and we'll put it on the camera and show you, and then we'll see that flight, and then I'll just do a quick closing, and that'll be the end of the video. Stay tuned, because tomorrow, hopefully if the forecast is right, it's going to be full sunlight and not fighting those winds. So watch the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and hit that thumbs up, and I think you'll see that we're getting somewhere with the filters. Take care. Okay, so not a whole lot of change there. I want to remind you again, this was not a fully sunny day. It was very cloudy with the sun popping out occasionally. But we did pick up all that sun flare and the same nastiness going on there in the screen. So next one we're going to do is going to be with a CPL filter. All my filter tests are going to be with CPL. So we're just trying to keep everything the same. So what I've done is I've taken the filters from the FEMI X8 SE, and I'll put a link in the video for those, but that's this filter here. And I don't even know the name brand of these. URUAV is the brand, I think. Yeah, they all say that. So that's the brand, but you'll see they come in this little ring. And what I've done is I've taken the CPL and I popped it out of the ring. And then we're going to put it in the ring here. So what I want to tell you is the Hubsan Zino 2 ND filters that you see on like Banggood or GearBest, all those are as ND filters. They don't have UV or CPL filters for those, but they're going to be the same exact style as what I'm showing you right now. So you'll be taking your ring off here, and you'll be taking those filters and just dropping them in. So again, this is from the FIMI X8 SE. And another thing I don't like about this, doing it this way, is fingerprints. So either you're going to wear cotton gloves, or you're going to be extremely careful not to get your fingerprints on there. But you simply take it and drop it in. And then you screw it on the front, and there you go. So now we have a CPL filter on there, and you can probably see my fingerprints on it. But that's one thing I don't like about that. We don't have a frame or anything to grab, so you're going to be touching that lens unless you have like cotton gloves or something to keep your fingerprints off. So that's that lens, and go ahead and watch the flight for that one and see if it makes any difference whatsoever, and if it does, how good it does. So enjoy that video, and then I'll come back and I'll show you another filter. Okay, some improvement there. So that's the FEMI X8 SE CPL filter. And I think you could see there is some definite improvement there. So you might want to go back and watch these again, and you can kind of pick out different things to look out for. Look out for sharpness, how well it focuses the distance, and of course the flares and glare and stuff like that. So this next filter was a little bit of a surprise. We're going to take this back off here and get rid of this filter. Put this back on with nothing in it, just like you see it, nothing in it. We're going to put it back the way it is stock. Now this next filter is something that was sitting right underneath my nose. I already had it. And that's from the Parrot Anafi. So this filter set here, I have two of these. I have this one, and then I have another one that's all polarized ND filters. And what this one is it's the ND4, ND8, ND16, CPL, ND32 polarized, and ND64 polarized. I also have a kit that has ND4, ND8, ND6 polarized, and a UV filter. So again, we're sticking with nothing but CPL. Ooh, almost dropped it. Here's the filters. And the good thing about these is you don't have to worry about your fingerprints, because you can sit here and hold it from the side and keep your fingers off the lens. Now this is almost made, you would think it was made for, if they would change the label to Zino 2, you would believe it was made for the Zino 2. Whoa. Trying to do this where I can hold it and you guys can see it. So here's the filter. Put it on. See if we got it in view there. And it presses on nicely. It's not loose. It holds on nice and snug and fits perfectly. So there's your filter. Your CPL filter for the Zino 2 from the Parrot Anafi. And then it comes off very simply, and you put it away. You don't have your fingers on it. So fit wise, so far this is the winner. Now you're going to have to watch the video and decide if this is the better of all of them or if it's worse. So watch the video, and then I'll come back in closing and I'll make it real quick. So enjoy the video, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, I think we have a winner. I think it's pretty clear if you watch the videos, and I do suggest you go back and watch them again and look for certain things that you want to look for. But I think it's pretty clear that this is the winner. Um, no hood, no crazy contraption coming off the front, and it made a difference. We didn't see any flare coming up from the bottoms at all. We're going to see those rays and flare coming from up above, but I think you'll agree it was dramatically less with this filter. So if I use my ND polarized filters, my ND4 or my ND8 polarized filters, I think you'll notice that it's probably going to be gone. So I will use these filters more and test them out in the sun conditions, but tomorrow is a fully sunny day. Um, and then I'm going to take it out over the water, put it in the exact conditions that I did back home at the reservoir flying at the dam. So I'll be flying this tomorrow. I'm going to fly it without a filter, just like you would have it out of the box. Fly it into the water and then back, whatever direction the sun is. We'll make sure we get the sun in there, and we'll see all those flares popping up and stuff in the video. And then we'll put this filter on and we'll do the exact same flight with the filter on, and we'll see what it's like in full sun conditions. So the forecast for tomorrow is less winds. We're not going to be fighting these 25-mile-an-hour winds today like we did today, and we're going to have full sun, less clouds. So as long as that weather stands true, tomorrow's going to be a really good test. Stay tuned on my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and then click all for future content so you get notifications of these tests. And I think most of you will be very happy seeing this video that pretty much all you need is an ND filter. We don't need to turn this into a Franken quad, and we don't need to add a big old tube on here that won't work in the wind, and we don't need to worry about any 3D printed hoods. With a filter and a 3D hood, you're probably in the best case scenario. But again, myself, I just don't like having those hoods on there. So hey, everybody, thank you very much for riding along and watching this video with me. And the one thing that I think we can say is an improvement is adding these filters. And I want to point out that I know in sunny conditions you're going to get certain things, and filters are almost a must in those conditions. But what we've been seeing out of this camera, I think, is more of a quality issue. There's some things they can tweak and play with in firmware, but bottom line is I think we have a lens that is pretty much mediocre. So it's not the quality I think we should be having. I would have paid $50 more for a Hubsan Zino 2 with a really good quality lens in it versus just a piece of glass. So I don't know 100% that's what we got, but that's just my guess, and seems to be the conclusion in talking to a lot of people. Most people are in agreement that that's what we have here, and perhaps not coated. The lens isn't coated, so that adds to some of the things that we're seeing in my previous videos. So stick around. Tomorrow is a big test with the full sun, and we'll see how that goes. But thank you for watching my video. Click that thumbs up on your way out, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.